to Tell You Later, the show where you learn so little about so much and vice versa. Sincere thanks to all those who support us on Patreon. See the full list at the end of the show. By the way, there's always room for more.
And don't forget to like and subscribe to their channel.
We haven't got a title song for this show, so we're singing this thing instead.
Okay.
It's really just a substitute. Nonetheless, the melody may stay in your head.
Oh, I hope so.
'Cause it's a tune.
It's a tune.
You'll love to croon.
You'll love to croon.
Ah, but there's one thing you should know. We have to confess we do not possess a title song for this show.
Ain't it peculiar?
Believe it or not, we haven't got a title song for this show.
Oops. Welcome to another episode of Tell You Later.
Tell you later. Whoa! This is Tell You Later. I thought it was Later Tell Ya.
Hey, I just lost a leaf. This is for arts and crafts if we get to them later.
These are very pretty.
They are very beautiful. Thank you. So, welcome.
Wait, aren't you going to give me one?
Okay,
Thank you.
that.
Oh, really? You should have. Okay.
I'm Katie Leigh, and this is my special guest, Chris Anthony Lansdowne.
Hi. How do you do?
You may have seen her on an episode in the past, but we're going to do something a little different, maybe. Thank you, everybody who are patrons supporting our show. We certainly appreciate
Yes.
you. It wouldn't be the same without you.
Yes.
Thank you so much. If you... what am I... Whoa! Hello, I accidentally hit the truth bell. Yes, please.
Oh, my leg fell. When these things happen, we just roll with it.
We roll with it.
We don't get off our chairs and
Not
dive to
at
the
all.
ground.
Heck no, we're good.
All
We're
right.
good.
I apologize for
Look.
the
The holidays are coming.
all right. Oh. You know, they spare no expense here, I tell you later. This was a special
This is a
gift.
wooden Russian, I think, or Ukrainian Easter
It's
egg.
actually lovely.
It's made of wood, and it goes in here. This is a candle holder, but I thought, well, I think the egg fits in there
It's good. It's
perfectly.
good for a holiday that's
You
coming
did
up,
it-
which is
yes, Easter. Easter's coming, spring's coming. So, but before we get into all my fabulous craft ideas, which
Can't wait.
is a lot of fun, we had a lot of fun for
She
Halloween.
said we could call it crafts with crit.
crafts
Chris with craft.
crafts with Chris.
Crafty Chris.
Crafts. Chris Craft. There you go, Chris Crafts. Okay, but you know what? I think that we haven't had the opportunity to get to know you. And you know what? I'm so thankful for all of my friends. And they have these wonderful careers and histories and stories. And people don't know a lot of stuff about you. All they know is that you live somewhere. A lot of people think you live somewhere in Odysseyville.
Yes.
And like you're you see everything and you just say hi and goodbye, but there's so much more to you that
Well,
I think
hopefully, I'm not,
people should know. Because you're a wonderful person and you're not just my BFF. Okay.
Thank you.
Because you're not.
That's almost. I didn't get the joke, and now I didn't. It's really bad.
It's okay. It's okay. So there's a lot of things I want to share with our audience about you. Okay? Because
Insight, in depth.
yeah.
Who is she?
Yeah, you have
Why is she here?
You have so many great
don't know.
stories, such great history. So you started out. She was born. Chris, you were born in you were born in Pennsylvania,
Yes,
weren't
yes.
you?
Thank you for remembering.
Aliquippa,
Well, yeah.
as a
Wow.
matter of fact.
She does her research.
Now
It's
you
very
just told me and I remember.
Okay, good.
But somehow your family ended up in San Diego County. How did that happen?
Well, my dad moved out many, many years ago for his business, and
Which was
in the newspaper business. He was in the
really?
advertising business, and he came out from Pennsylvania, and he moved out to California with his 4 kids, which later became 5 kids, and we came to California.
How did you make another kid?
Well, he and my mom did
Oh,
once they got
I
here.
thought like you somebody's mitosis or something.
They had another
okay.
kid, my younger brother, who are 10 years apart. So I'm one of 5 kids. I'm the middle child, which some of you will know what that means.
That explains
That's the kid that's going, I got to do something to stand out. And so I still work at that. And
you either wreck the car or become famous, right?
well, I didn't wreck any cars, but I did take it for around the block once, and my mom didn't know when I was 9.
Did you really?
Oh gosh, I'm going to tell us on camera.
All right.
She doesn't even know
She's
about
not
it.
watching. Tell us about that. So your dad's in advertising, you're a middle child, and you get in trouble. We already did hear the Christmas wrapping story.
Oh, well.
So what happened? How did you end up driving the car when you were 9?
I don't want to promote this, kids. I really
Please
don't.
don't try this at home.
Chrissy's not a criminal, not a convict, but she did have a little fun side to her.
She's working on it.
That's why I went into acting, so I could be all these people.
And get paid for it instead of having to pay fines.
I remember imitating my relatives like a lot of us did when we were little. And everybody laughing when I did them. And they were going, oh, she's so funny. And then when I got to them, they'd go, I don't do that. My lip doesn't do that.
Who is your favorite relative to imitate?
I think it might have been my grandpa. My grandpa.
Really?
Well, I'm Italian.
What did you call him?
Grandpa.
Oh, okay.
We're Italian and a big Italian family. And, we're loud. We're loud and we're very communicating. No, wait.
Communicative.
Communicative.
Chris Craft's communicating.
And so...
say that 3 times fast. Chris Craft's communicating. Chris Craft's communicating. Chris Craft's communicating.
That's $5 worth of talent,
I
right
think so,
there.
yeah. You bet. I tend to capitalize on that.
She gets big bucks for all that.
Yes, I do. Okay, so I'm just stretching. Go ahead. So your grandpa, what did you imitate him?
Well, I remember when I was really young, I used to do little skits and things for my relatives, and I would just kind of come into the living room or if they're at a family gathering.
Everybody, I have a show for you.
That's true. I would say
I know how that goes.
Yeah.
We would do the hokey lao and hope they'd throw money.
And it's funny because in school I was in musical theater and plays and stuff growing up, but it's like I really kind of, that was my road to be on. I remember like for pep rallies, if they needed something silly and a character to do like a pep rally for basketball games or football games, they'd go, get Chris to do it. She'll do it. And so
were you a cheerleader?
No,
or a pep? No, they just knew you.
Well,
you were on speed dial in the locker room.
No. They knew because I was in the plays and stuff.
Oh.
But there was one pep rally where they had a hypnotist come to school. It was a big deal, a pep rally. Hypnotize the kids, and they're going to do funny, silly things. This is in the 70s. So this hypnotist comes in and he hypnotizes you. You're sitting in a chair and he hypnotizes you to do all these funny, crazy things, right? And that was, Chris is going to do it too. Okay. And so he hypnotized me, but he didn't really because it didn't work. But I did a bunch of stuff pretending like it was real. And he hypnotized me to be a seagull.
Why did you pretend? Just because you didn't want to disappoint?
I don't know.
People?
It didn't work. And, I just didn't get hypnotized. And so at the time I thought I'll just do my own show.
I think it's hard to hypnotize crazy people because I haven't been able to get hypnotized either because I don't know. I think there's no reason. There's nothing under the surface that hasn't already come out, right?
That's right. You do it on Tell You Later. I mean,
Exactly. So what? How did your grandpa? How did you imitate your grandpa? I want to hear your grandpa.
I gotta tell you though, the hypnotist
asked you to be your grandpa.
Yes, he says, "Who are your favorite characters?" And he said, I want you to be that person. Ooh, be the person you want to be. And he goes, you could be a bird or a grandparent. Or I went, oh, okay. And so there in front of my whole school, what an idiot. Oh, I gotta think about that. I did a seagull, which was,
And you are quite good at that.
Thank you. And then I did my grandpa.
What did you do?
I'm trying to remember. He's very, he's grandpa. And grandpa, he's Italian. And grandpa.
Did he grow his own grapes and make his own wine?
Yes, he did.
Diana Angolia's
Yes.
grandpa did that too. Yeah.
How am I talking about this? I don't know. She has a way of getting these things, confessing things out of us.
So you imitated your grandpa, which
Yeah.
led to a career in voiceover. Obviously, no. What happened next?
Not
You
quite.
you were in theater in high school.
Well, I had later gone to I went and got an agent, Nancy Washburn, who is just my dearest, sweetest friend, and I was probably 18, maybe 19,
But
and
how tall are you?
5'6".
5'6". But I've seen pictures of you. You look like you're 6'9". You're just beautiful. You were a
stand straight.
model.
Yes, I did model. I did, and I had some days of modeling.
Oh, the days of modeling.
Before gravity, before wrinkles, before all of it. Yes.
And we're going to talk about that too. That's on my agenda.
Oh, good.
Crinkles.
Oh, right. Oh.
Anyway, but we'll talk about that later. So she hired you because obviously you were a bathing beauty.
Well, I went into her office and she was an agent sitting behind her desk, and little Chrissy came in.
And you pretended to be your grandma.
No. I had been at the radio station in Escondido, had a local radio station, and I used to go into their radio station and do voices for the DJs' shifts because they needed voices of old ladies.
Now, how did you get that? Did you just walk and say, hey, want me on the radio, or did they have an ad out
I was
somewhere?
a gutsy little thing, and I would just, I'd say, you need some voices, and I would go in there and they'd say, what do you got, kid? And I would do voices, and I realized this is like people did this for a living. And I thought, so that's gave me
We're going to have our friend Greg Berg on here eventually,
great.
and he used to be on Rick D's show. It was a little more national than
great
as Candido, but yeah, a lot of us because we're auditory, right?
Yeah.
All I do is listen. I could sit in my car all day on Saturday and listen to NPR
And she
hear
does.
I do, yeah.
We are very.
But anyway, we like to listen, and the DJs. What's really funny, I always wanted to see what they look like because they were generally not attractive. Right? I mean,
for all you DJs out there,
a lot of them are, but it's like
Okay.
they have these amazing voices, and
they don't look like what you picture.
no,
That's a
and
nice
that's
way of
kind
saying
of fun. It's kind of fun.
Those deep baritone voices, and then they got these little glasses on and say, hello in person. Hi, nice to meet you. Yes, I'm the DJ on the radio.
I wanted to be on the radio too. So so you marched down there. You said, "You guys need me," and they said, "Yeah,
So
sure."
I was just a kid doing, out of high school.
Did they
and,
pay you, or is it all voluntary?
volunteer? They said, well, come on, we need an old lady, or we need a kid.
There you go. You can do get a lot of experience without getting paid, right? But it all pays off in the end. Okay, you may quote me.
During that time, I had a company with my brother was a distributor for Oster blenders and Oster cookware. Right about that time, he said, "Hey, we need some cute girls to demonstrate cookware.
I need an Oster sister."
And he hired me and a couple of my girlfriends, and we went to Atlanta, Georgia, and.
Because nothing says cookware like beauty.
Well,
Beautiful
it sells
girls.
pots and pans a little
Yeah,
bit.
I bet it does.
But I was thinking this might be a good life experience on the road to deepen my life. And
So this is when after you got out of high school.
Yes.
You'd already been doing voices on the
Yes.
radio, but your brother needed somebody to
Yes.
travel with the blenders.
well, not a blender. This is cookware.
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 Oh, cookware. And you said, hey, why not?
And this Oster was a good company. They had a good name, and I thought, let's do this. So I went to Georgia, and they opened up
They
brand new
must be
stores.
Dutch. Are they Dutch? Oster?
know.
Or because you think it's going to say Oster, but it isn't. It's Oster.
It's Oster. It's
Okay.
Oster.
We'll have to look that. If you know the answer, put it in the comments below, please.
put anything in the comments. After you see the show, you're gonna go, "What is she talking about?"
All right. So you get on a plane with your cookware.
No, we drove from California to Atlanta, Georgia in a van with all of us.
How many were there?
3 of us.
Were they all your friends?
Yeah, they're friends. And my poor brother, he was like, we got a show to do.
A cookware show.
Yeah, but you know what? Let me tell you.
Was it like at the county fair?
No, this is when JCPenney was the biggest store in the world. They would have these brand new stores and they would set up stages with cookware and they'd give you lights and they made it so amazing. You looked like a star up there with your pots and pans. You were like, and then we had this little spiel that talked about how you could burn food in it. And
Did you have to memorize?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, of course I don't memorize. Yeah. So basically I thought if I'm going to sell this cookware and make money because we got commission, I'm going to make it my show.
Give us a little sample, would you?
Well, that
Oster woman?
Now, our very special Vinny will understand this story because he's special and he knows what I'm talking about. But you take the cookware is not.
She means our crew of 1.
Yes. It's not the cookware that's you have to become the cookware.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So what I did was I turned it into kind of like a little comedy thing, and I would take my eggs and I'd flip them up high in the air.
No way! You could do that?
Yeah.
Did they land back in the pan? Oh, thanks, crew of 1.
Well, let me tell you, folks, you could put this pan in the oven and it won't burn up because it's a 350. Well, I don't remember the spiel, but anyways, this cracks me up. I would take my eggs, say this was an egg.
Okay.
And I would say, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you a little something about this pan. This pan is more than it looks like. And so am I, for that matter. I'm trying to be so funny. I would take those eggs and show how they would slide in the pan. You see that? And you go, woo!
That's very athletic of you.
Yes. And it became such a thing that people started coming from everywhere
Just
to
to
watch.
see you flip your eggs.
Just to come.
That's great. Wow. We're going to have to go in your kitchen and you're going to have to give us a demo. I promise you, we're going to have a show from Chris's kitchen. It's just a matter of time.
Yes, we're going to do that.
All right. Well, we're going to watch you flip your eggs. I'll bring you a pan.
There's a lesson in this pan flipping thing.
Did you ever get yolk on your face?
All the time, still do.
The yolk's really on you.
Can I share a little truth about this?
Yeah, sure, because this is that's our truth bell. Go ahead.
Since this is a very in-depth conversation with Katie Leigh, I'll tell you later. What happened was something changed my life there during this time. And one lady came up to watch me demonstrate my cookware and watch my little show. And this lady had on a cowboy hat. And she had on long braids and like overalls. And when she smiled, she had like 4 missing teeth in the front.
This was in Georgia?
This was in Georgia.
I can't imagine.
In Georgia. She was from probably all the outskirts of Georgia there. And she came up and she says, and I'll tell you exactly what she did. She goes, well, them shiny pans that you're cooking with, they ain't nothing special. You gotta cook with my wrought iron skillet. You just put it on over the fire and you can cook up anything. And it's pans with a good taste to them. And you don't wash them because inside that pan it's got all the seasonings. And her name was Stella Della Rose.
That was her real name?
It was Stella Della Rose. And Stella Della Rose made such an impression on me that I have remembered her all my life. And she's a character that I do in animation, and I take her to commercials, and I do all the stuff. And what my point is, in your life journey, if you don't mind me saying this, I don't need to.
No, I think good advice is always worth ringing a bell for.
You people that are doing character acting and characters and voice work and characters, in anything you do, open your mind to people you're going to meet along your life journey because
they will inspire you.
They'll inspire, and you're going to get characters that are real. Just memorize them. Watch how they move, how they talk. This is everywhere you go.
When we go out to eat, I'm always listening to people's conversations.
That's right, and that's probably the best characters you'll find. So memorize these people, gather them in, put them in your bag of tricks.
That's good.
And when you go down the road of life and someone says, you got a character?
Is there somebody besides Stella that comes to mind? Another
yes.
character that you can tell us about another character?
She's good, isn't she? You really want another character?
Yeah, of course. That's why you're here. That's why I pay you the big bucks.
Oh!
Did I tell you we have artichoke bruschetta? Yum.
Well, since you're let me share, yes, there was a little grandma that made quite an impression on me.
Where did you meet her?
I met her in Idaho, and she was very
Were
cute.
you doing Oster in Idaho?
No. I just happened to be there, and she was.
I just happened to be there. Okay.
Well, I think I was visiting some friends at the time.
Uh-huh.
I don't really remember. I can't remember what I had for breakfast. How am I going to remember that?
You might. Well, you remember her. So tell us what
remember.
happened. You met this little lady.
Yes, she was very, very sweet. And I was just, like I said, gathering characters, not knowing later in life I would use her.
You know what they said? The famous poet who said, "Gather your characters while you may."
Really?
Not exactly. But it's gather your roses, I think, is the quote. But I think in the world of voiceover, it applies. Gather your characters while you may.
Okay. We'll say roses, characters,
Same
people.
difference. A rose by any other
Artichokes.
character would smell as sweet. Go ahead.
Okay. That's really, I can relate to that. So this was a character I met along life's journey, and you're going to be seeing people too if you're interested in doing characters.
If you ever leave the house.
If you leave the house, you'll probably be doing your brother, sister, or your husband, or somebody. The cat doing the cat.
Yes.
But
Okay.
she was standing with a group of people, and she just kind of caught my eye. And she had on. I just think about. She had that typical white hair with twinkly blue eyes. She was adorable. She was the epitome of a cute little grandma. And I could see she had like one of these little lace collars. You know, grandmas wear those little lace collars and stuff. And I just looked at her and I thought, oh, but what she sounds like. I'm just talking. And she kind of starts to talk and my ear goes, and she had she did this little voice, and it was so cute, and she couldn't remember anything she was saying. She would say, "Oh, nice to meet you, Chris. What was your name?" I went, "Oh, I'm putting you in my bag. I'm putting you in my bag." Later, I used her for many, many things.
And anything you can talk about? Because, people are interested. They want to know. You are so much more than Chris on Odyssey. You're so much more than Barbie, Chris.
Thank you.
You. There's a lot of things I'm going to get you to show off your stuff here.
She's making me feel so special.
Because you are. So what characters is anybody they would recognize that you use?
Well, for Odyssey, for those Odyssey people out there, I was Mrs. Randolph. That was Mrs. Randolph when Wooten came to visit. Oh, Wooten, where's my glasses? Oh, they're on my head. And then later I got to use her on Trolls. Trolls
the
wanted a grandma.
movie or the TV show?
The TV show, they put a little grandma on. It's funny because, you want to, when you do characters, you don't want to do a character that sounds like everybody else's grandma or everybody else's witch or everybody. You want to do your own version of her. So
everybody else's mailman or, Yeah.
So what I would tend to do is I would make her very absent-minded, and she could remember anything. Yes.
And all that stuff. When I'm coaching people, like it's sort of. We've been doing this a long time. We didn't always start out thinking like this, but you can. I call it decorating the words with those utterances and expressions, because it's there's something that when you think a thought in real life, you usually there's like a gasp or a or something, and that colors,
that's real.
Yeah, that makes it more real. It's not just the straight words.
Very
right?
true.
Like if you're having a seizure. No.
That's why she's a excellent coach. Do you see what she just said? Not the seizure part.
I should
But her
probably
coaching
cut
is
that out.
spot on because she knows how to bring. It's like putting skin on a skeleton. She puts it. She makes it real. She teaches you how to do something real because let's face it, if it doesn't sound real.
Well, I try, but people, they have to kind of like everything you do. We were talking about this on the phone that voice actors it's a strange mindset because we aren't seen by the public. But in order to create a lot of the characters we do, there's a lot of contortions and weird things. Sometimes you get even, we've seen people shove things in their mouth to create a sound or whatever. And so it feels like fun because there's no audience, but in fact, the other people you work with are there and the people behind the glass are there. But it's like they're not. We don't see them. Like, you can't worry about what you look like, in other words.
If you worry about that, you're going to get all hung up on how do I look instead of how, what you're doing, right?
Yeah, exactly. But everybody is sort of that mind. Nobody cares. They just want it to sound right. And you have to kind of have that mindset, too. This isn't, although we're very physical, it's not a physical performance as far as the eyeballs are concerned.
But doesn't it help you to be physical?
Oh, absolutely, because what I tell people, look, if I do this on camera, you're laughing because you can see it. Now, people who are just listening to the podcast, they can't see. You have to give a sound to every expression.
Yes.
So if I went, you get an idea of what I just did.
Is a great tip. Now, I know for me, people, when we were going out for auditions a lot, not as much now because we work a lot from home and remote, but when I would go on an audition for something, I was weird and dress exactly like the character, but I would dress, if I was doing a young kid, I would dress kind of in stripes and my hair in a ponytail. I would put on my Converse, and I would physically try to dress young and fresh. And if I'm doing like a bride, I know I would do like a high neck. That's just me because it would help
you get into character.
When I was doing Barbie for 12 years or so, I didn't dress like Barbie, but I noticed in the presence of Mattel and all the people that I'm recording in the studio, you don't want to come in with your baseball cap on and you're like a slob. I made an effort to always look pretty because I was like, when I first walked into the lobby at Mattel, when I first started her voice, I walked in, and this is years ago.
Is this one of the big Barbie in the lobby?
Yes, the big, giant Barbie. She looked like Oscar, like the Oscar. Tall Barbie in the lobby. And I just got cast for Barbie to be her voice. And I walked in, and I went,
To enjoy the full episode, please support us at patreon.com/tellyoulater. Thanks a lot.
You're wondering why?
Yeah. Tell you later.
Tell You Later is a Patreon-driven entertainment show. So what are you waiting for? Come on over. Join us at patreon.com/Tell You Later.
I didn't wink or nod or nudge too slightly acquiesce, but still somehow you up and guessed my inclination, 'cause I never said yes.
Quiet as can be.
Very quiet.
And incidentally pollution free.
Oh, yeah.
Ought to 60 in less than 3.
Oh, what an easy.
So let the word get out. It's best beyond a doubt. Ooh, I love my horse, but oh, you Tesla. Oh, say I love my horse, but oh, you Tesla. One more time. I love my horse, but oh, you Tesla.
It's horse.